Okay, so we're back with Civics 102, Part 2. Remember, the earlier one we did in the week is the Bill of Rights, and we introduced it. It's the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, authored by James Madison. And they give us our rights under the law of being American citizens. And it also gives us our general protections under the law. So, in the First Amendment, though, it gives us our basic freedoms. So we said RAPS, RAPPS, religion, assemble, petition, press, speech. Those are our 5 basic freedoms. So these are the things that the government says, if you are a U.S. citizen, you have these rights if you are an American citizen. So we looked at religion, and we looked at the right to assemble, and we looked at Teddy Roosevelt saying, hey, your rights are great, but they end at the tip of your nose. So what you do, these rights can be taken away from you if you infringe upon someone else's. So we're going to pick back up with petition. And petition is when you ask the government, one of the things is to look at a problem and maybe do something about it, or you make a suggestion, or you do something of that nature. Now, you sign your name to it. This has been going on for a long time. I mean, this happened over in Europe and Greek and Roman. I mean, people have always loved to petition, sign their name to stuff, the ones who could sign their name. Okay, long time ago. So this is not a new practice here in America. This has been going on. But there was a lot of fear of signing your name to a document. Now, I know, well, what about the Declaration? Well, of course, the Declaration of Independence. And we're going to talk. Yeah, we got so much to learn. Oh, so much. But usually signing your name, everybody can see it's your name, and you're signing it for whatever. I want a traffic light at the corner of Johnson and Jenkins Road. I want a stop sign. I'd like to put a bridge or a toll bridge. Hey, Alabama, I'd like a lottery. I'd like to be part of the Mega Millions. I'd like to be part of the Powerball and have scratch off so I don't have to keep zipping down to Florida or bebopping over to Georgia. Seriously, this is my petition. It's a verbal one. But I've told my children, don't sign your name to anything unless we've seen it. And that's a good lesson. Don't sign your name to stuff if you have not read it. Am I guilty? Yes. Of scrolling through an app and saying, oh, I agree. I mean, I could have given away my firstborn and not known it. You've got to read. And I'm guilty. Don't sign your name. But petitions are where what that does is it opens up our society where we can ask the government, hey, we want this. Hey, we need this. Hey, this is a problem. Look at this. My name is so-and-so, and I live in such and such neighborhood, and we need this. Or we, the group of educators or farmers or whatever, we sign our name, and collectively as a group, we let the government know this is a problem or we need a solution. Okay. Now, the second P, press. Okay. Hot topic these days, right? But let's just break it down to what the truth is. The truth is we have freedom of the press. The press can print what they want to print. Okay. The truth. Okay. If you want to do an editorial or an opinion piece and you say, I believe that Sally Sue is this, and she's irresponsible with the people's money and blah, blah, blah. Fine, if it's your opinion. But see, freedom of the press means that you can, without feeling or fearing retribution, that you can write about people, places, things, Anything you want to do, you can write about, as long as it's the truth. And see, this is where there's a little bit of an issue here. What we do is, back then, y'all, it was a newspaper. You got to see how times have changed. Now we've got the internet. We've got cable news. We've got regular news. We got the newspaper. That's dying out, unfortunately. Digital versions, not so much, but the newspaper, throw in it. Anyway, we've got all kinds of news outlets. And there is a blurring of the line of facts and opinions. And sometimes people want to mask a fact, and they want to wrap that fact with their opinion. Now, you can write your opinion, but you got to let them know it's your opinion. You've got to write facts. You have to tell the truth. You can't just make stuff up. And when you do make things up, or if you don't know that it's wrong, what you printed, you retract it. You say, hey, it wasn't on Everett Street. It happened on Johnson Street. And you retract that. Or you say, no, they don't have 6 kids. They have 18. Whatever it is, here's where we have an issue. Someone tells a fact, but they couch it, or they cover it in adverbs and adjectives. Beware the adjectives and the adverbs. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. The fact is that Sally Sue went to the grocery store. Okay, Sally Sue went to the grocery store. Now, how can I make you feel about Sally Sue? The angry, much maligned Sally Sue stomped into the grocery store. Well, Sally Sue went to the grocery store. She was angry. And if she's much maligned, that means people don't like her. And why would you go stomping into a grocery? I don't like Sally Sue. I hate Sally Sue. Why would someone be so hateful as Sally Sue? Or the gregarious and happy Sally Sue skipped into the grocery store. Oh, I want to be like Sally Sue. Sally Sue's great. She's so happy and friendly. I want to be like Sally Sue. See, Sally Sue went to the grocery store. But the adjectives and the adverbs kind of make me feel a certain way about Sally Sue. Now, look for an episode on telling fact from opinion, because it's a big deal. Now, let's get to the last thing, and that's speech. Okay. Freedom of speech. You can say what you want here until it hits the tip of your nose. You have the freedom of speech. Okay? You can say, I don't like this guy. I don't like this gal. I don't like this law. I don't like this place. And not fear persecution. Here's the deal. You can't go into a crowded movie theater and yell fire. You can't go into a bank and say, I think he's got a gun. You can't go through the TSA line and say, I have a... You can't do that. Because freedom of speech has its limits. Freedom of speech has its limits. You can't do those things. And here's where I want to make my point. We do things sometimes claiming freedom of speech, which we have, but we want to say and do these things and then somehow be free of the consequences of what we've said or what we've done. Okay, what's my point? Okay, let's take a big one. Burning the American flag. It's not illegal. It's not unconstitutional. You can do it. People fought and died and shed their blood so you can have that right. Here's the deal. People want to do things to symbols that you are an American. Symbols are important. It's just a flag. Is it? It's a symbol. It's an American symbol. Okay, let's take this. I'm married. And happily. And he's the greatest man ever. I am super, even after 25 years, super happy that I am Mrs. Everett. Okay? There's no one else I want to be. All right? So when we got married, I have a ring. And see, this symbolizes that I am married. I want people to know that I belong to Mr. Everett and Mr. Everett belongs to me. This is a symbol. Now, do we always get along? We pretty much do get along. Have we ever had a fight? Yes. Have we ever gotten mad at each other and not spoken to each other? Yes. So let me ask you this symbol, if I took my ring, which is a symbol of my marriage, to this wonderful man who I love, and threw it on the ground, or covered it in dirt, or melted it away, okay, or scratched it because I was angry, am I any less married? No, I'm still married. But have I fractured a relation? I mean, have I fractured a symbol that's something that is tangible of who I belong to? See, if you're an American, the flag's the flag. Okay? And some of you may disagree with me, and some of you are going to agree with me, and that's fine. It's America. But like, I don't get mad at my children and tear up their birth certificates. They're still my children. Don't get mad at my parents and upset with my parents and tear up my birth certificate who tell who my parents are. I don't get mad at Mr. Everett and take our marriage license and rip it into shreds because, see, guess what? We're still married. And it fractures the relationship. Is everything perfect? No. Could it be better? Yes. But taking a symbol and desecrating it doesn't help anything. And let me tell you, if you're out in your front yard and you hoist a flag on your flagpole and you set it on fire, don't expect to be invited to the community barbecue. See, people want to do stuff and say things and then like, well, but that's my right. Well, it is your right, but I don't want to be around someone that does that. Doesn't mean I don't love you, but you're not going to partake at my house. We're not going to, people will shun you when you do things like this, guys. And, people want to do things and have no consequence. It is because it's not unconstitutional. It's not illegal. I don't like it. I think there's a better way. Than desecrating symbols and using violence to do things. There's a much more productive way, for sure. But there are social consequences for our actions. Everybody has them. You brush your hair at the cafeteria table at school. People don't want to sit with you because no one wants to sit with someone brushing their hair at the cafeteria table. And you're like, well, but I'll just stop. You smack at the table. People don't want to sit with you. It's a consequence of your actions. Were you doing something illegal? No. Was it obnoxious? Yeah, pretty obnoxious. There's social consequences to all of our actions. Now, we're going to start our Talking Turkey series, getting ready for Thanksgiving. And that is going to drop soon. But thank you for listening to our civics presentation and for just a refresher. And everybody needs it. Adults, children, everybody alike needs a little refresher course. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you soon.